I should have hooped. I should have hooped. This is wasted potential, man. I should have hooped. Let's pan that down a bit. I don't know. I feel like that was a bit of a big pan. This is a very cheap tripod. No, actually, that was a great pan. All right. Audio's going well. I like this little system. I like this system I've got. So, I don't know. I figure I owe it to you guys to say, I guess, where I've been for the past couple years. Because when Marlboro Nights initially gained traction, I received a lot of attention very quickly. And I'm extremely grateful for everyone, who listened to the song and enjoyed it and shared kind words with me. But it was very overwhelming. So after trying to, I guess, tough it out for a little bit, I sort of went into hibernation. Which is, I understand, not exactly the best career move to capitalize on the momentum I had, but it's what I needed. It's what I needed at the time. It's what I need right now. What's our next dish? I guess we'll do the blender. So, I needed some time to myself. Just not online. For better or for worse, I lived a lot of my childhood online, and it felt like a safe space for me. And all of a sudden, it's not necessarily that the internet stopped feeling safe. It's just that it felt different. I was getting a different type of attention. I felt, possibly due to other factors, like there was a certain lack of freedom that I really grew to resent. We're not doing the spoons yet. Rookie mistake. Let's get these gross. Here, you want to see this? These are so gross. Yeah, so it just became, being signed to a label, Pizza Slime Records, and the dudes at Pizza Slime are incredible. I wish them the best and all that. It's just the idea of being signed to a label isn't for me, so there's no way that was ever going to work. When you get the bottom of the thing just right. But as far as the act of being a record label, the dudes at Pizza Slime care so fucking much. Like, they're incredible at their jobs. It's just not for me. But if you're a young artist and you have a clear vision, and signing to a label is part of that vision, and Pizza Slime reaches out, man, send it. They're amazing. But it's not what I needed. It's not what I needed. I grew up with music sort of being a safe space for me, and even the act of producing music. I know there's this character in School of Rock who he wants to play rock guitar, but his parents want him to play classical guitar. And it was sort of like that with me, how the quote-unquote system as it was, when I was a child, so like my parents and my teachers, they wanted me to learn instruments, and the way I rebelled against that is by learning to produce, which was fun. It was fun in its own way, and obviously useful, or at least beneficial. And it never really left that frame for me. It was always sort of just something I did to, like, I would find that I would record these songs with seemingly meaningless lyrics and then look back on them 3 or 4 months later and realize that I was singing about something that I was feeling but couldn't perceive yet. It was a very sort of sacred space for me. And to have that space violated by, I guess, capitalism was a lot to go through. And it's sad because, like I said, none of the people involved are at fault. The entire time I was out in LA, I was surrounded by great people. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful, nobody was too pushy about what they wanted me to do. There was some light pushing, but that's what I expect from people trying to make a buck. This is one of the worst things to wash. And I lost my rag. I lost my rag somewhere. It's in the drink. So yeah, I guess that's the background, I guess, for why I felt compelled to withdraw so much. I've got to turn off my TV. I like to have college football on when I'm doing chores. But when I'm also trying to get my thoughts together, it can be a bit much. I do love college football. I love how emotional it is compared to NFL. Let's get this guy. So that, I guess, the end of the fulfillment of my contract, my music contract, and even before that, I think before that, just the realization, it was a big, like, welcome to the real world type situation. Where it's like, I signed that contract. It's like, okay, this shit's your life now. Like, you can't, take that back. It was all very jarring. I definitely felt trapped. Well, if it isn't the consequences of my actions, I had no right to feel that way. Hindsight's 20/20, But outside of all the label stuff, I just sort of needed to, like, figure out who I was. I just sort of, I had this feeling that when I, even, I think my mic's safe. Like, having a lot of attention on you is cool. But when, it sort of felt like I was getting up on stage to give a speech, and I didn't have anything to say because I didn't know who I was. So that sucked. That was an uncomfortable. It was a very uncomfortable feeling, and I knew I wanted to get rid of it. So I did therapy. I'm still in therapy, and I've sort of just been trying to figure out, what I'm doing. Since then, I've simplified a lot of things. Which has given me the freedom to improve other areas of my life. And I'm just now feeling that the timing is right to get sort of the world at large, like you guys, involved. And I understand that the audience is going to be small, but I feel like now that I feel more myself, I can really stand behind what I'm putting out there. And that's important to me, to be able to do something day in and day out. Not even day in and day out, just for multiple years. However sporadically. One of my favorite live streamers, Clint Stevens, he's just like, he's very on again, and then he disappears for a couple months. I respect that. Are we almost out of dishes? Yeah, I've really been dreading doing the inside of this blender. Any of these big, cavernous, like a pitcher, a blender, a big bowl. I don't know, I feel like it's such an ordeal. I've got to get new water, too. This water's getting brown. I haven't turned into an ascetic. I am not washing my dishes by hand because I want to. My dishwasher's broken, so you don't have to worry. I haven't gone completely crazy, just the correct amount. So let's get some new water here. Whew. So, yeah, I guess I can go over the big things that I've been learning, or at least trying to learn. Oops. Rag went down the sink. I'm learning that a lot of the time when I find fault in other people, it's usually an insecurity in myself. Rarely is the other person ever genuinely, at fault. I find this a lot with my relationship. With Sophia, I find myself getting ticked off about something. I think about it a little bit. And I realize, no, dude, you're just insecure about it a way. Something that, because of something that happened a long time ago, or just the way that we're programmed. It depends on the situation. But just, you're insecure about that. Stop, taking it out on other people. And what I'm working on right now is sort of building the sort of buffer between feeling an emotion and acting on it. And that's been helping me a lot with my music as well. What's our next step here? I'm going to fill the sink. Let's get some soap in there. That's another thing, actually, a really big thing, is I've been, over the last, I say, year, fully coming to terms with having ADHD, even though I don't fully respect the idea of labeling things like that. And, there's a lot of discourse around language these days, and I'm not going to get into that. But I feel like sort of labeling it and putting people... I wish people could be aware of symptoms inside themselves and not feel like it limits them in any way. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people that are given a quote-unquote diagnosis and use it to define themselves, and that's very sad. But I've been, coming to terms with this collection of symptoms I exhibit that we call ADHD. And it's been really powerful just in terms of like self-acceptance. Like it isn't, there's a lot of shit that, I want to get done that I don't get done. And it's not because I'm a bad person. It's usually because I set my expectations way too high. Like it's a lot of setting my expectations too high, comparing myself to other people, rather than, seeing where we are, taking a step in the right direction. It's, waking up groggy-eyed in the morning and saying, all right, we're running a marathon, having never run before in my life. It's just not a sustainable way to do things, You might run a mile or two, but at what cost? We got to get these pans. I got the carbon steel pan. I think I'm going to save that for later. I think I'm going to save the carbon steel for later because it's just a wipe down. And I honestly, doing the talking and the dishes at the same time, it's really compromised my level of dish intelligence. But I'll hit this stainless. Lost my train of thought there. And I always think, if you lose your train of thought somewhere, it must not have been a very strong train. Oh, come to terms with ADHD and all that stuff. And that's sort of, I was just thinking how I've been sort of more accepting of my own forgetfulness. I used to get mad when I forgot stuff. I still get mad when I forget stuff. I've got a better handle on it these days. It's very, I don't know if the word emasculating is correct, but it's like it really puts the feeling of forgetting something, it puts into perspective how much, we've got a little Dish Mountain situation going on over here. Forgetting stuff puts into perspective how much of my reality is sort of fabricated. It's like stories I tell myself. It's very, very trippy stuff. But, dishes got to get done, no matter how real reality is. Got to do the dishes. I think I need another cloth out here. This is going to be a 4-cloth operation. I've got a bunch of dishes over here that you can't see. A bunch of dishes drying. I thought I'd be able to wipe the counters in this video, but it looks like it's going to be a full kitchen operation in terms of drying. But this is good. This is good for me. This is good. It's nice. I like this format. Get a load off. And then have a clean kitchen at the end of it. Not much to complain about there. So how are we going to do these utensils? I think I'm going to move. So I have a little utensil caddy here. I'm going to move some of our big players over to this new rag over here. Now the utensil caddy is open for utensils. And down here in the sink, I've got some lids. I'll burn through the lids first. I really want my utensils to be the last thing I wash. I like having the utensils as a little treat at the end. I put the rag over my hand, get it all soapy. My hand's like a soap ghost. It's fun. Problem I never had is being whimsical. Never had a whimsy deficiency. Something I really love about myself. Some people can't stand it though. Fucking squares. Some people are squares. That's another thing I've learned. Some people are squares and they can't handle my level of whimsy. And that's okay. They'll never get it, man. But it's not my job to make them get it. and I think my job, assuming they're squares and assuming I'm not being genuinely offensive, is just to like cohabitate as best as I can. And of course, there are times where I find out I am being offensive, and I apologize. I try to apologize and make things right. But I'd rather step on a few toes than not express myself. All right, so I've had the pot scrubber in the sink the whole time, and that's bad. I feel like that's bad etiquette. I feel like it's got a bunch of gunk on it that it didn't need to have, germs and stuff. But I rinsed it. I'll put it over there to dry. So it's just going to be the measuring cups, and then we're on utensils. And maybe I'll bring you in for the utensils. Maybe the utensils can be sort of a little thing we do together. You can imagine you're the utensils, and I'm wiping you down. That'd be fun. Giving you a little bath. I should take a shower today. I've been feeling a little down. I realized I didn't take a shower today. But it's nice to have a morning where you don't have to take a shower. Doesn't mean you shouldn't. Doesn't mean you should. Just because you don't have to doesn't mean you shouldn't. All right, so we've just got the utensils left. I'll bring you guys in a little bit closer. Let's make sure we're still recording audio. That would be lovely. Audio's good. All right. This is just for the demons and gremlins. Here, let me flip the camera around. Couple seconds of footage won't kill nobody. All right, so now I can make my tripod higher. And then I'll have the legs straddle the trash can like so. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we could get you right in there. Right in there for utensil time. Look at that. Look at that shot. And this camera has lovely stabilization. It was moving very smoothly there. Okay, well, it's utensil time. So when I do my utensils, I like to sort of lather up I know it's way too much soap. Sue me. Lather up my rag right here. And then you just do all of them. I just go through and do all of them. I put them all on the left side of the sink. Give them a good scrub-a-dub. And then put them on the right side of the sink. And then I get to rinse everybody off at once, which feels very nice. It feels very nice to do. I imagine this is pretty loud. So I'll keep the words to a minimum. What's the opposite of ASMR? I hate this. The sound of this is not something I enjoy. But that's the thing where wireless headphones have really changed the game. Not even wireless headphones, just portable music players in general. I mean, they've been around since I've been alive. Just being able to like listen to music while I walked to school was huge. That was a big part of my day. Like a huge part of my day was listening to music when I walked to school. My report card will show you that being at school was not a big part of my day. But listening to music on the way to school was huge for me. I would drum. I would air drum a lot. You know when you're a kid, you listen to the same shit over and over and over again. Lovely. Now this rag is going straight to the wash. Don't get it twisted. I don't keep this dirty ass rag around. Put it in the rag bin. Ooh, I missed. Well, do the walk of shame over to the rag bin. Put the rag on the ground into the bin. And then we can rinse off our utensils and I can say goodnight. I hope it's night where you are. This feels like a nighttime sort of video, even though it's day for me. I don't know, it feels like the sort of thing that's a little bit heavy to watch. In like an afternoon setting. So So I hope the vibe is right with you. I hope your vibes are all right. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If it's getting towards the end of the day, I hope your next day is good as well. You know what? Let's, as a treat, let's get another rag involved. Let's get the sink looking beautiful. How about that? So, what I like to use is Barkeeper's Friend. Oh, I don't know where it is. Oh, we have a cleaning tub. Oh, my knees. I guess it's my day off of like working out and stuff, so I don't want to bend over. My poor knees. We put our knees through so much. All right, so just, and honestly, that was too much water. So just balance that out by using a bunch more powder. And just get that everywhere. Now, how I believe it works is it takes a tiny, like microscopic layer of the metal off. So it actually shines the metal, which is exactly what I want. I want it to look beautiful. I don't want my sink to last forever. I don't want my sink to last a million years. I just want it to look good all the time. Because I don't think under a normal amount of polishing, you would ever make a noticeable difference in the amount of sink you have. I mean, real polishers might compare sink weights. They might weigh their sink every year. If you're a real polisher, if you're in the community, weigh your sink at the beginning of the year, weigh it at the beginning of the next year, see how much you've really polished. Wear it as a sign of pride. Me, I just like it to look nice. I'm a casual polisher. Let's get in the drain. There might not be enough Barkeeper's Friend in the drain. Oh, it looks like we're doing a good job. There's just some little green areas. You know when your drain gets green? Oh, but it's just one piece of metal. I didn't notice that before. Oh, yes, so we can just get in there with our fingers. And then the rubber gasket, something I've always had trouble with. But I think with just elbow grease, honestly, we could get it looking at least close to new. Now this angle is one I'm not very cool with. I don't know, it just feels weird. And you know what? That's good enough for me. Well, this rag is absolutely disgusting. This one, it's going in the wash. I have half a mind to throw it out, but I won't. I'm a kind and benevolent leader. My rags respect me. Look at that. That is a beautiful sink. Wow. Just admire that for... Oh, I'm sorry. I kicked... Right during the money shot, I kicked the camera. That is incredible. That is incredible bad etiquette on my part. Hey, well, if we do this again, I'll try not to kick the dang camera. Right when it gets the most satisfying. At the culmination of the entire video, we kick the camera. I cannot believe that. I hope you all have a lovely time.